Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to Linfamy, History of Japan. Today's episode is called The End of Emperor Rule in Japan, Fujiwara Takeover. Okay, if you want to check out my previous reactions, remember the playlist card will be at the top. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. Okay, start. 3, 2, 1, go.
The Japanese court in the Heian period went through three phases, where the hot potato of power passed from the emperors to the Fujiwara, then to the retired emperors. Let's talk about that middle period. Like the Soga clan before them, the Fujiwara had the court in an unshakable ear pinch. This is how it happened. Hey guys, if you like History of Japan videos, click subscribe. If you don't, click like. So the Fujiwara clan was founded long before the Heian by Nakatomi no Kamatari, who helped overthrow the Soga clan because they had too much power over the Japanese court. Funny enough, his own Fujiwara clan would take over the court years later. The clan split into four main houses. By the Heian period, the northern house, the Hokke, became the strongest and dominated the court. When we talk about the Fujiwara in this video, we're talking about this branch. So what was their secret superpower? Ladies. It became customary for emperors to marry Fujiwara ladies. Now, I know what you're thinking. Poor emperors, what if they were into non-Fujiwara ladies? Don't worry, they could have multiple consorts. They just had to make sure the main consort was a woman of imperial blood or a Fujiwara. That wasn't just custom. That was the law. That's right, they convinced an emperor to pass an edict that only women from the imperial family and the Fujiwara family could be main consorts to the emperor, and only Fujiwara men could marry daughters of emperors. In 857, Fujiwara no Yoshifusa became chancellor, the highest office in government. And in 858, Yoshifusa's 9-year-old grandson took the throne as Emperor Seiwa. Because the emperor was so young, Yoshifusa basically took control and unofficially ruled in his stead. And then in 866, something happened that you wouldn't think would be that important. One of the gates of the imperial palace burned down. Different factions in courts hurled blame at each other like your parents after you bring home your boyfriend with the face tattoo. But in the end, an investigation pointed to the old Otomo and Ki clans, and they suffered a serious exile of their ranks. The Otomo and Ki were ancient clans. They were the old guard, the major opposition to the Fujiwara, and they had just been removed from the board. Some say it was the Fujiwara who orchestrated the whole fire. Some say they just took advantage of an opportunity. Either way, the results were the same. That same year, Yoshifusa officially became Seisho, or regent. He ruled on behalf of Emperor Seiwa. Well, he was already doing that, but now it was official. It was the first time someone outside the royal family became regent. Emperor Seiwa was famous for holding the totally unimpressive honor of being the first child emperor of Japan. He also held the equally unimpressive honor of being the first male emperor to have a regent rule for him. The trend started with Seiwa. After him came a whole bunch of child emperors. Now, it wasn't like the Japanese suddenly thought, hey, you know what's a good quality in an emperor? Bedwetting. No, it shows us that the throne's power was slipping. In previous times, when the heir was too young, usually the mother or sister would rule until the child came of age. That's why we had a bunch of empresses in the Nara period. It kept the power potato in the hands of the imperial family instead of an outsider regent. But if you were a Fujiwara at the time, you would have preferred emperors who were easy to control. Child emperors. Obviously, they never had kids before, ever. The Fujiwara just wiped away all of the power-hoarding precautions of the imperial family. In becoming regent, Yoshifusa set the last nail in the coffin of the emperor's authority, and his ambitious adopted son started hammering it in. His son was Fujiwara no Motosune. Motosune also became regent, but in 884 a new adult emperor ascended. A regent was only supposed to rule on behalf of a child emperor. He would have had to step down. Well, he solved that problem by creating a new title, Kanpaku. So, what did a Kanpaku do? A Seisho was a regent for a child emperor. A Kanpaku was a regent for an adult emperor. Problem solved. Now excuse me. The others in court did challenge Motosune, of course. They'd have been rude not to. But he won, and the fact that he won made it a huge deal. It made the Kanpaku position permanent, and always held by the northern Fujiwara house. This is a great example of the trend during the Heian, where people valued clan loyalty over loyalty to the state. The northern Fujiwara house, the Hokke, became known as the Seikanke, or the Regent's House. Fujiwara power became entrenched for the next 200 years. They took advantage of how Heian marriages worked. In Heian Japan, the emperor's eldest son was not automatically the heir. It was the emperor's choice. Usually the heir came down to the prince with the most support in court, and since the Fujiwara controlled the court, the heir was usually a Fujiwara. Also within the Heian aristocracy, children were raised in the household of the maternal grandfather. That is, they were raised by the mother's side. So you had a situation where emperors married Fujiwara women, and their potential heirs were then raised by the Fujiwara clan. A clan that raises future emperors is a clan that succeeds, as I always say. There were challenges to the state of things from time to time, like the sad story of Sugawara no Michizane. Michizane was a rising star in the court, rising all the way from an insignificant clan to a senior position in court. He had the backing of the emperor, who groomed him to be the immovable object to the Fujiwara unstoppable force. Though Michizane himself thought someone as lowborn as him had no business being in a position so high. He was also a really good poet. Fearing a strong enemy, the Fujiwara accused Michizane of conspiracy. He was demoted, exiled, and the immovable object moved 6 feet under. Strangely, in the years following his death, the Fujiwara household was struck by misfortune and by lightning. A disastrous lightning storm killed and injured some people. Similar to what happened with Empress Toku, people blamed Michizane's spirit for the storm. Fearing the spirit, the court unexiled Michizane and restored his rank. This was common back then, actually. People thought the dead liked to take revenge and tried to appease them. But you know, the living liked to take revenge too. Why wait until after he died? Michizane's spirit got the last laugh, though. A cult developed around Michizane. People began to worship him as a kami, a god. First as a kami of thunder and lightning, then as a kami of learning and education. They called him Tenjin, and people still pray to Tenjin today. Now, about the offices of Seisho and Kanpaku, it's important to understand that these offices were not the reason for the Fujiwara's dominance. They were the result of Fujiwara dominance. Fujiwara power did not necessarily derive from them being regents. It was more because they had so much power that they were able to become regents. This is evidenced by Fujiwara no Michinaga, the most famous Fujiwara. The man wasn't even regent. He was an examiner of court documents, but he still ruled over the court. He read all official edicts and decided whether or not they were issued. He famously wrote, in a poem, a phrase that wonderfully captured what it meant to be a Fujiwara in the Heian period. "When I reflect, this world is indeed mine." Hey, want to get rid of that pesky ad bar in the videos? Help me get to the next goal on Patreon and it goes away. For more Heian Japan, click on the videos on the side here. I want to thank our new patrons this week, Ismail Valin, or Izzy as we call him on Discord, and Karen DeWitt. She's caring and witty. Sorry. Alright, much love guys. Spread the knowledge.
Okay guys, that's it for today's episode with Linfamy History of Japan and of Emperor Rule in Japan, Fujiwara Takeover. Fujiwara no Motosune, really well done. The Kanpaku regent of an adult emperor. That's insane. That's insane, guys. It just shows the kind of power the Fujiwara clan had on the royal family, and really they've just exceeded anything the Soga clan could have ever imagined. Truly, not only are they keeping the royal family within the blood of the Fujiwara, but any heir to the throne is already indoctrinated in the Fujiwara ethos and thought process. So they're producing Fujiwara emperors day in, day out, and whoever the emperor marries has to be coming from the Fujiwara clan as well. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Like, he can have other concubines or other queens. I forgot what they're called right now. But the emperor must have a Fujiwara representative wife in his court as well. So definitely, this is insane. And also the northern Fujiwara home is now, I would say, has become like a de facto imperial capital, because now all the power is held within the Fujiwara clan. Therefore, anyone who's living in that northern house of the Fujiwara is essentially an emperor himself, or her no, yeah, I don't think there's been any women who've led the Fujiwara clan, but yeah, definitely whoever leads the northern house is now the de facto emperor of Japan. All decisions that are made, I have to go through that house before they go into the emperor's throne room, because that's now just become a rubber stamp institution. The real power base is now held in the Fujiwara clan. It's crazy, and how they've infiltrated themselves into the imperial family, like roots, digging themselves deeper into the ground, and the Fujiwara tree is now stable. It can't be shaken by anybody. That's crazy. Really, the Soga clan, they could only dream. They could only dream of something like this. Dream it. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. If you like the video, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos. And I guess I'll see you next week, Tuesday. Okay? Bye-bye.